I'm excited about the opportunity here, but to sit here and act like there aren't questions.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to TexAgs Rewind. I wish you could watch the original version that we just did. We actually did an intro, and Nick was very inappropriate. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Good morning. Yeah, it's not often you have to two-take the rewind intro, but yeah, we definitely needed to today.
Yeah, and in the background, Cade saying hi to the people. Matthew, what was your favorite part of the show?
You know, it's always fun having Billy on the show. I missed a huge opportunity on April Fool's Day. He asked me to make his coffee for him. I missed a huge opportunity to put something weird in his coffee.
Yeah, that's one guy not doing an
Yeah,
April
that would
Fool's
have.
joke.
Yeah, see ya.
You want to work here long term? That's not the one to do. By the way, I got. I think it's not official yet, but Justin Reed, who I covered at the Texans, put out this retirement tweet. And I was like, oh, great guy. I think he was faking. I didn't think they got me. It's all right. It happens.
Not cool.
Not cool. So we talked about Aggie baseball sweeping Auburn. We talked about more Aggie baseball. John Scheschuk, he was great on the show. Schloss was obviously on the show. We had OB to start off the Go Hour, where we talked a lot of football. In fact, the biggest unknowns going into the A&M football season. Plus, as Mr. Dawson mentioned, we've got Billy Liucci on the show. That and more is TexAgs Rewind. Let's get into our biggest unknowns for Aggie football. I'm going to throw you a couple, then I want you to throw me a couple, okay? I think the wide receiver room is a big unknown. You don't just lose a talent like Evan Stewart. Mm-hmm. And by the way, it might be a plus, right? But you don't lose that kind of talent and Anaya Smith, as my voice cracks, and expect to be as good or better. They might be, but it's an unknown at this point.
Yeah, to me, the unknown is how much with the receivers is how much can Moose Muhammad, how much of Anaya Smith's production can Moose Muhammad replace? We've seen Moose when he's played, do some great things, but I've already seen Ja'Day Walker replace Evan Stewart.
Yeah,
I like what I saw.
I did too. Yeah.
Is Noah Thomas going to be able to stay healthy?
Right. And consistent.
Yeah. Supposedly he's put on some muscle, and he needs it, but so.
Micah Tease, does he take a big step this year?
Right.
I'm excited about what I've read and kind of seen on clips of Cyrus Allen, Jabari Barber, excuse me. I'm excited about that, but I don't know. It's an unknown. Mm-hmm. Just like a year ago, Ja'Day Walker was an unknown. He's not an unknown anymore. Now, what is unknown about Ja'Day Walker is can he do it consistently? That's an unknown.
Yeah, I think he was I think the biggest issue I had with Ja'Day Walker last year,
a couple drops early.
He had some drops, and some late too. But I think he was a very pleasant surprise, and I can go into a season with him replacing Evan Stewart, and I think maybe he don't have as much upside, but at least he's going to be there.
Yep.
He's a tough kid, so yeah, I'm fine with that. So
I loved your quote. I think it was Saturday, or about getting a sweep in the SEC is like seeing a polar bear in College Station. That was great, but I mean, it really shows how good of a league this is, especially a team like Auburn that does have a lot of talent, and you're able to get the sweep.
Yeah, they're so good. I mean, we play a couple. Obviously, the last game could have gone to anybody. I think they played at least two. Well, they beat Arkansas once, which is Arkansas's only loss. And they, I think, play another 1 or 2 run ball game against them. I'm not sure, but it's just anything can happen on any weekend. A couple bad days by the wrong hitters, couple bad pitches, an injury, and your season can be flipped in a completely different direction super fast. So that's why the whole opening day mentality is important to us, because the past never equals the future. So you just got to keep playing, keep your head down, and then look up at the end of the year, and hopefully you're in a position to be in some level of postseason.
Schloss, I don't mean to repeat questions or talking points that we've been talking about for now over a year, but Mr. Consistency there and Evan Oschenbeck, I mean, can you just chat a little bit about knowing what you get pretty much every time he steps on the mound?
Yeah, what a luxury, because most amateur pitchers, you don't know what you're getting. They're talented, but that's why they're amateur players. They're still trying to figure themselves out. They're not major league players. Some of them are better than, there are some of the guys on our team that are better than some minor league players, but they're they're not professional players yet. They don't spend all day, every day, just getting to do baseball. They're in college, right? So they're still developing. Like a guy like Isaac Morton, there's moments where he's as electric and as good of a right-handed pitcher as there is on our team, and then he'll lose the strike zone a little bit, and he'll grow out of that. But when you have a guy like Aschenbeck or even Sadeo, Stewart now, number one, they're super consistent people away from the field and their habits, which, the fans don't get to see that. So because they're consistent away from the field, they're trustworthy people. You know how they work. You know how they live their lives away from the field. Then you can put them in the game and you can hey man, I can win with this guy. And if we go down, I feel good about it.
Every week I'm like, I don't want to say surprised because he continues to do it, but I'm surprised that he's continued to do it at this level, even against the SEC, 4 home runs this past weekend.
Yeah, I think for him is his talent and his mentality and his work ethic, they all align. And I heard Coach Schloss say that earlier in his interview. You've got to have your superstar players that are the trendsetters, and clearly Braden is that guy. He's somebody that's going to put his money where his mouth is, or his mouth where his money is, whatever the cliche is. He's going to do what's required to be successful. And when you match that attitude with that level of talent, great things happen. So it's exciting for me to see him come in and really exceed expectations as high as they were. But he's on, an SEC Player of the Year type of trajectory, and that is incredible for Texas A&M. But if you look, David, at that outfield with Sorrell and Laviolette and Montgomery, those are MLB type guys that are roaming around out there in the Texas A&M outfield. So you feel really good about that. And I'll say it again, I hope the Major League Draft continues to dwindle down in its round numbers. And I hope that NIL continues to grow for baseball, because to me, that makes our sport better. And I love the sport. And to see those type of players on one team, I'm glad it's for Texas A&M, by the way, but to see those types of players on one team is really incredible. And fans should soak that up because it's a lot of fun to watch them.
Compare your days of playing, the coverage college baseball got to now. I feel like baseball's always been one of the, obviously, 3 best sports in this country, and 1A, 1B at times, right? College baseball, I don't feel like was nationally loved the way I feel the attention is getting to. Am I wrong in my assessment?
No, you're 100% correct. Now, the Southeastern Conference is a little bit different because this league really cares about baseball. I think the ACC does too. I think the Big 12 does to a degree. But what you're seeing now is these teams making money at it, and it's become more of a business, and you're starting to get these higher level players, again, which helps the product and the brand of the sport overall. But the coverage is awesome. I credit ESPN for that. Of course, we have our local SEC Plus network that runs on most games. And so you do get a lot more coverage.
What do guys like Malik Silla, Rylan Kennedy, Cassius Howell, what do they bring off the edge? Is that add a whole new dimension to this thing? Corner, you mentioned. I think there's a massive question mark there, but I'm beyond excited about what I see out there at that position. There's so many options. There's so much potential depth. There's so much football that's been played, from Tyreek Chappelle to all those guys that have transferred in, all the way down to a guy that hasn't played a ton of football but is probably among the most talented athletes on the team in Ricks. Safety, probably less questions there. Although you lost Gilbert and Matthews, so who's truly proven at A&M back there? It's really just Bryce. But you've got a lot of, I think, attractive, good-looking options out there we've watched. So I think there are question marks at damn near every position on the field, but I also think with what they've done through the portal, combined with what they have coming back, combined with the freshness of a new coaching staff, I'm excited about the answers at really every position.
Right.
We could go through and do exactly what I just said and say, why are you excited to find out the answer? And I've got multiple reasons at each position. So to me, when I'm out there every day, it's really refreshing watching this football team right now, watching how they're being coached, watching the style, the physicality of it when they get going. I'm excited about the opportunity here. But to sit here and act like there aren't questions, like I think Mike Elko and the coaching staff and probably even the players would laugh if you said, yeah, everything's settled. There's no unknowns out there with this football team.
Mr. Dawson, can you tell the people why it's important to sign up for notifications?
Well, I mean, why would you want to miss what's going on here? You would miss something like this moment right now. You would miss it.
Yeah, you'd miss it, and you probably should miss this particular moment. But yes, good point. What else? Tell them what to do.
Also, you got to like, got to subscribe, got to comment, and so you can like and comment on those videos. That's why you got to put the notifications on.
Hey, I learned today that he worked for the Chicago Bears. He was a big wig with the Chicago Bears when he was like 13. I learned that today. TexAgs Rewind.